Usha, if I may, SMEA has an alumni mentorship program, which is a great way to volunteer with the school. You're a shining example of what it means to be a mentor with a capital M. You've gone above and beyond to educate and inspire UW students by meeting them individually and delivering guest lectures. What fulfills you about volunteering? And when you speak to SMEA students, what is your message to them?
Well, thank you, Nevis, for the question. Can you hear me properly? Okay, good. So this is the two-part question about what motivates me to volunteer, and then a message. So let me just spend a minute or so on my background to give some ideas to why I became so interested in volunteering, especially with students. So where I come from, the culture was of volunteering was mostly faith-based or for people that were in need, which is a was what I grew up as. And then just barely coming out of teens, I came to this country, and I was alone, and and quite scared actually. Uh, After coming, realizing what I had done is to come to a country that was so different, and I was so thankful and actually enchanted that there were organizations in the at Caltech in Pasadena, small university, um, that provided host families, that provided guidance, Rotary Club took us to all different places. And suddenly I realized that people volunteer not just to for for their faith or to take care of people who can't, but that this whole set of volunteers were learning from us about our culture, our country, and teaching us about United States. So it was a two-way process of being volunteering and learning from it. I like that idea of volunteering, not just to feel like I'm taking care of somebody, but actually learning from them. And I found that as a student, I had these wonderful people who helped me. And then when I came to University of Washington, a large university, very different from where I was before. And I found that not only the foreign students, the people coming from different countries, but all the students actually at times felt very lonely, bewildered, uh, could use some guidance or just a friendly smile. And so I started to learn from first being a graduate teacher, teaching assistant, and talking to undergraduate. And I almost found like I found my sound, or I found my vocation, or I found my passion, because I have never given up after that time. And that is why I volunteer, because I get so much back from the young minds that ask me questions that I had never thought about, and tell them my story and help them whenever I can. Um, so I think that kind of answers the first question, unless later on anybody has more questions. I am, as you can see me, I'm different in terms of when I first came, I was the only woman student from India in my college, and then here in the University of Washington also at those days there were no graduate student doing PhD in chemistry, women student, until 2 years after I was there. So the way people behave, even though they're being nice, sometimes you have to kind of, this is for the students. You have to sort of make them realize what you need very politely, but they need to know, because sometimes people assume you need something which may not be what you need. So being able to articulate what your need is or what you like from your mentors is a good thing. That requires a little bit of strength because quite often mentors are so overpowering and people just don't say anything to them. So in my case, there was my professor was just absolutely wonderful, and he um, took care of me as because I'm like only girl in the young woman in the class. So sometimes when they went for meetings and all, he did not invite me thinking I would be uncomfortable going with all the people. And I had to find my voice to tell him that should be my decision. That should not be just because somebody cares for me, they should not decide that I can't do something or I may not. And he was actually very happy. But I had done it in a way that I didn't offend him. So those are the things the students can learn to, I don't want to give a group, lots of advice that they have heard already from books on leadership and all. So that's why I'm just kind of giving some ideas as to learn to know who you are, and don't always another one, don't always take offense just because somebody says something. Learn to know which battles to pick, because there is going to be so many, and especially in this time, as Nivas has just told us, how uncertain the times are. We will be buffeted quite a lot, and the students the most. Don't take everything seriously. Find strength, find passion. Right now, conserve energy to finish what you are doing, your studies, and have faith that the elders are going to try to bring us out of this period of turbulence. But during this period, I would say find two groups: one that think like you and give you comfort, and another that challenge you. I think that is where I will stop. I have lots of other things I could say, but I want to make sure my 5 minutes aren't becoming 10.